in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys a makeup palette that I recently bought and I am so excited to try it. So the palette that I bought is the BH Cosmetics Blush Neutrals 26 eyeshadow and blush palette. So I haven't opened this yet, but I wanted to just share with you guys like my first impressions. I'm probably going to do a look with the palette on camera so then you guys can see exactly what the colors look like and what I think about the product. So if you guys want to see what my thoughts are on this palette, make sure you first subscribe to my channel, which the button is down below. Also, make sure you like this video and comment down below whether you guys have tried BH Cosmetics products. I know I am not a stranger to them. I order from them several times and I am just really excited to try this out. So without further ado, let's get started. So like I mentioned, this is a 26 color eyeshadow and blush palette. Now I am not a huge blush person, so I think I'm going to mostly be using the blushes as eyeshadow, but I'm going to show you guys what the palette looks like. So when you first open the palette, this is all the colors available. So as you can see, they're very mauve-y, very pink, very neutral tones. You do have a very bright pink on the top row, and you also have the blushes on the bottom row. So all of this top section here, the first 3 rows, are your eyeshadows, and then the last row is your blushes. So looking at this palette already, I'm actually really excited because I'm very much a neutral person. I don't really play with color and things like that. So this is, I think, is going to be a very wearable, everyday kind of go-to palette for me. So just taking off this plastic that just comes with the palette. Again, this is what all the colors look like. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a mirror, but if you have a go-to mirror that you always use for your makeup, then you can totally use that while using this palette. It is quite big, so I don't think it's necessarily travel friendly, but it also has all the eyeshadows that you need. So if you are going on a trip, I think this is something that may be a little bulky to pack, but it is a very good palette because it has a lot of colors, a lot of variety, and you also have blushes as well if you are a blush person. I really don't know what eyeshadow I'm going to be doing, but I think I'm going to go with very pink mauve tones because there are a lot of browns, but I think I'm going to swatch some of these colors for you just so then you guys can see what the color payoff is like and what the pigmentation is like. So just dipping my hand into some random shadows, I think I'm going to go with this shimmer shade right here. This is actually a very, very pretty color. This one came off very, very pigmented, which is great. And then going into this pink one right in here, this is more of like an orange mauve tone. This one is a little bit more chalky than the shimmer shades, so I think there is a very good variety of matte and shimmer shades in this palette. But let's see. Let's try a blush. I'm going to try this berry blush, which is right in the corner here. So these are what these 3 colors look like. So this is the blush. This is the matte shade. And then this is the shimmer shade. So by just looking at them off my finger, I think the shimmer shades are very buttery. They look very pigmented. Unfortunately, the matte does look a little bit more on the chalky side, so I am a little hesitant about this matte shade, but we're definitely going to try them out. And the blushes are actually super, super pigmented. I'm sure like you wouldn't put like a straight up color like just like this on your face, but it is very good to know that, you know, the colors are very pigmented, they're pressed well in the palette, so you're definitely going to get a pretty good payoff off of this palette. So again, just looking at this palette, I'm really not sure which kind of look I'm going to do, but we're going to just wing it today. So I think I'm going to start out with my transition color, which I think I'm going to go with a very neutral, like kind of cool brown tone. So I think I'm going to go with this color first. And unfortunately, these colors do not have names, but I will just, you know, let you guys know which color I'm going to be using. So I'm going to be using this one first as my transition shade. So after using this color as a transition shade, I literally just tapped really lightly into the palette, and so far I'm seeing a pretty good pigmentation. It's not, you know, very pigmented that, you know, like a little can go a long way, but it's definitely a good wash of color, so I think so far so good. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and try some more mauve tones. So I'm actually gonna go into this color right here, which on camera it does look more like a brown, but it is definitely like a plum kind of brown. So I'm gonna go into that just above that transition shade and just deepen up that transition. Next, I think I'm going to play around with some berry colors, and I think I'm going to go ahead and go with this shade, and I'm going to go more into my lid space with this just because I want something a little bit more with color on my lids. So I'm going to try this. This is like my first actual like pigment color from the palette. Wow. Wow, this color actually looks really gorgeous, especially like I think in person it looks a lot better than what it is on camera. But honestly, this color actually worked out really well. I lightly tapped into this and it turned out really well. So I really like this so far. I think I'm going to mix a few colors together just to kind of get a good, you know, range of what the shadows look like. So I think I'm going to go in with this tone, which is the one right in here. And then I'm going to go right on top of my lid with this shimmer shade that I actually swatched. So I think I'm going to do those two colors and see how that goes. Wow, do you guys see the shimmer shade? Oh my gosh, this is so pretty, and this is really pigmented. Wow. This is actually gorgeous. This is a gorgeous color. It's kind of like a champagne kind of gold, but then with the berry colors, like it actually looks really nice. Okay, so I think this actually is not too bad. I'm just going to deepen my crease with this brown shade, which hopefully you guys can see that. It's this brown shade right here. I'm just going to deepen my crease just a tiny bit, just to bring a little bit more coolness to the look. Okay, so next I think I'm actually going to go with that neutral brown again, and then I'm going to go right underneath right under here with that color, just so that I can balance out the eyeshadow. Okay, so I'm actually going to go finish up the rest of my eyes and the rest of this eye look, and then I'm going to come back and share my thoughts about this palette. Okay guys, so I am done with the eyeshadow look. Now I'm actually going to go into the blushes. Now I know I did mention that I'm not big on blushes and I don't really use blushes, but for the sake of this video I'm going to try it, you know, just to see what the pigmentation is like and if I like it or not. So some of these blushes actually have some shimmer, like this one in particular does have a shimmer to it, and the rest of these are actually matte. So I think for this look I'm going to go with matte just because I do have a very glowy highlight and, you know, the look is just very shimmery, especially with the lid color. So I think I'm actually going to go with this tone in the middle, which is more of like a pink mauve tone. So I'm going to actually use a pretty big brush for this. And then this is actually a BH Cosmetics Pro brush. So I'm just going to dab that into that middle color. And I'm just going to put it on the apples of my cheeks. Okay, so after using this palette, which again is the Blush Neutrals 26 color eyeshadow and blush palette from BH Cosmetics, I think, to be honest, this isn't a bad palette. Now, I am kind of disappointed with the matte shades, especially the ones that I used, just because they are pigmented. However, they are a very chalky consistency, which I understand is kind of the realm of matte shadows, but it wasn't as blendable as I would have liked them to be. Now, these shimmer shades, however, are very, very pigmented, very, very buttery, easy to blend, easy to move around, and I actually really do like the shimmer shades in this palette. Now, me not being a blush person, I think this is kind of hard for me to say because I can't really give a full-out review of blushes because I'm not really much of a blush person. But when it comes to pigmentation of these blushes, I think these blushes are actually very, very pigmented. They were pressed really well into this palette, and they actually show up really, really nicely on the skin. I don't know if you guys can notice, but I do have the blush on the apples of my cheeks, and it actually gives me a nice wash of color, which I thought is a really, really nice thing from blushes. So overall, if I had to rate this from 1 to 10, I think I would actually give this a 7. Just because it is very, very nice. It is a very big palette. You get a lot of colors for the price, which I believe when I bought it on sale, it was about $11 to $13. If I get that incorrect, I will definitely put the correct price in the description box below. But I did buy it on a sale, so please keep that in mind. And also, I mean, it's a very big palette. You get a lot for your money. And I think most of the shadows and most of the blushes were very well done by BH Cosmetics. So I think this is something that you can actually, you know, keep with you or travel with, or just use this on an everyday basis. So guys, I hope you liked this review on the palette. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, please make sure to give me a thumbs up, and also comment down below whether you guys have tried things from BH Cosmetics and what products do you guys love best from the brand. So guys, I hope you guys all have a great day, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys!